Yeah, I'm working 9 to 5, this 9 to 5 don't work for me. I gotta find my way up out, this ain't how it's supposed to be. Feel like I'm settling for less, that's why I gotta leave. They may not understand it, it's not for them to see. Cause it's my vision and it's not yours, no. And you won't get it until reverse rolls around and around. I put my dreams on hold, you told me how that sound. I wish my dreams could pay cause I work for right now. Ain't had nobody yesterday gon' hold me.
Everybody, this Let's Vamonos episode is sponsored by Moxie Salon Studio, located on 2401 North Shepherd at the Phoenix Salon Suites. Emily is my hair salon stylist, and she's always able to make sure that my hair is at its best. So go check her out, 2411 North Shepherd, Moxie Salon Studios. So before we get our episode started today, I really want to talk about something really super special that we're doing this month. I'm collabing with Shop Local Market Space for National Latina Day HTX Market, which is on August 20th, 2022. It will be on a Saturday. Come out here at the Ironworks building and come celebrate with us to support Latina-owned businesses. We'll also have a panelist group of wonderful Latinas that have worked in all industries, and we'll be able to chat and connect and empower each other, and also hear wonderful women speak about what it's been like to be a Latina in the industry of education, advocacy work, and also entrepreneurship. You can register at the Eventbrite link, where all you have to do is go in, register. It's for free. It is a free community event, so just come out with us and join, and we'll be able to celebrate together. Hey everybody, this is Let's Vamonos, and I'm your host Desiree, and we are here at the Ironworks Milby building, and we want to show y'all what Shop Local has for us today. So if y'all haven't been in here at the Shop Local Market Space, they have wonderful accessories, headbands, jewelry, all the things, sunnies, anything that you need pretty much for your regular day, whether it's a night on the town or your regular work day, or a gift for your amiga, your prima, your tia, whoever you have out there. So definitely come check them out and see what they have. Hey everybody, this is Let's Vamonos, and I'm your host Desiree, and we are here with our special guest Cesar Espinosa with Fiel Houston, and this is our first August episode, and we're really excited. So thank you so much, Cesar, for coming here at the Cargo Vintage Ladies Pink Couch and sharing a little bit about what you do. So if you know, any of the supporters out there know that I love to support and advocate for people in general, especially Latinos, right? So for those that don't know what Fiel Houston is, what is Fiel Houston?
Well, number one, thank you so much for having us and in this beautiful space. If you haven't come and checked out these spaces, check out these small business owners, please come. They have great coffee downstairs. It's just a place to hang out. Bring the family, you can bring dogs too. Bring everybody
you can bring your whole family
to come hang out. So I work with Fiel. I'm the executive director of Fiel. Fiel is now the largest immigrant-led civil rights organization in the state of Texas. Thanks to you, thanks to all the people that have supported us. And we started off, very, very tiny. I love to tell the story because when we started in 2007, we were just a group of then young people, we're not that young anymore, who wanted to make a difference in our community. And so we started organizing, and what we thought was going to be just a club of people hanging out has now blossomed into the largest immigrant-led civil rights organization in the state of Texas, advocating for immigrants, for Latinos, for women, and for just folks to get up on their feet after natural disasters, after COVID, whatever the situation may be.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad you talked about that, because some people just don't know, right? They just think, oh, you just help immigration. But no, you are definitely an advocate for the community, and we love that. Let's Vamonos totally endorses that. We definitely support the things that y'all do, and we're really eager to hear also how y'all help people. So one of y'all's main causes is helping immigration, people who come here as dreamers, DACA, and do y'all have specific resources that y'all work with?
So number one, we like to advocate for everybody that needs help. We've handled, cases, very sad cases, the case of Vanessa Guillen, John Hernandez, other cases where the families may have felt that there was an injustice committed. We're all about that and righting those injustices. oftentimes in our community, a lot of people say, things happen to me, ni modo, like I'm just going to throw my hands up in the air. You know, things happen and we're just not going to advocate. So we're here to help families advocate for themselves and get the justice they deserve. In terms of immigration, we do offer workshops. We have a full legal clinic where we have attorneys, not notarios, but attorneys that help people navigate their immigration cases. Immigration law is the second toughest law after tax law. And a lot of people just sometimes, unfortunately, either navigate the system themselves or they go by what the tia de la sobrina de la amiga told them to do. And oftentimes we find that these folks have a hard time accessing immigration services. So we're here at a very low cost to help out families advocate and at the end of the day get their citizenship or get whatever pathway they may came with full confidence that we will always tell them the truth. Oftentimes people go to attorneys and they tell them what they want to hear. They're like, oh, if you give me $10,000, I'll fix you and your family and then hasta el perrito de everybody. And at the end of the day, they just get scammed out of their money. So we're here to provide those resources for the community so that they can get the right, honest answer on their immigration cases.
I love that because unfortunately for those of us that are not educated in that system, we do get scammed, right? We get scammed into thinking that, oh, our fellow Latino is going to help us, but at the same time, we kind of don't know, right? We don't ask the right questions. We don't know the right questions to ask. So that's really important.
Or we don't ask.
Or we don't ask at all.
So a few years ago, we decided to start doing immigration forums just in community centers and things like that. And what we found out was that 30% of people had an immigration relief, but they had never asked anybody because it's like going to the doctor with Latinos that we rather just not know than hear the bad news.
We'll ask the tia or
ask
the
tia,
prima.
yes, or Google it, and then unfortunately at the end of the day we realized that some folks could have adjusted status or did have a pathway years ago, but they just never bothered to ask anybody.
Yeah, that's very true. And so that's one of the things that Let's Vamonos likes to do is to empower anyone who wants to share their voice but doesn't know how, right? Maybe they get an advocate or somebody to help them. So I'm really just astounded by the work that y'all do. I do follow y'all, so if you're not following at Fiel Houston on IG or social media, definitely start following them and checking them out, supporting them. A lot of, I know probably y'all's funding also comes from outside resources, correct?
Yes.
And one of the questions though I wanted to ask you was, why did you want to do this?
So me personally, it's a really, it all started because of people like me. So I am a graduate of HISD. I'm a proud graduate of HISD. I actually graduated from Michael E. DeBakey High School for All Professions, which at that time, not anymore, well, there's still debate, but at that time it was the best high school in HISD. And then after I graduated, I missed one question on my SAT, got a 1599 out of a 1600 on my SAT, got accepted into all these Ivy League schools, including Brown, Yale, Cornell University, and I was super excited. At 18 years old, I went up to my counselor and I told her, I'm ready to go to college. What happens next? And she looked at me astounded and she was like, I just don't know. You don't have papers. We don't know what we're gonna do with you. And so she was super sweet. She advocated for me. She was on the phone. We stayed late night hours at DeBakey High School, calling all these schools. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, I wasn't. Nobody really wanted to. Nobody could help me back in those times. So it was really frustrating, but by the grace of God and a lot of support from my family and my counselors, I was able to get into Houston Community College, start my career there, and then transfer on to the University of Houston where I studied political science. But what we realized is that there wasn't somebody really advocating for students like me during those times.
Right.
So once again, we just all got together and we said we're going to help other students like ourselves to be able to access college and higher ed. And every year we help out about anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 students access these resources and almost get everything paid for, whether or not they're documented.
Wow, that's amazing. So I did not know that about you. So this is something I've learned about your story. I won't negate the whole best high school because I'm not really sure about that, but I'll let those Houstonians out there debate that. But that's really interesting because before the DACA that former President Obama created, there was just really nothing then, really. And I'm a third generation Latina, so you know, I really don't know some of these stories, but I do know that they are important, right? I want my fellow friends, community to be able to have some of the same opportunities that I have, right? Because I mean, we're all here for the greater good to some extent. One of the other things I wanted to ask as well is, what are some of the goals for Fiel Houston for this year?
So first, let's backtrack. And one of the things that people, so I'm still an undocumented person. I have DACA, and one of the things that people ask me, well, why don't you just get in line? There should be an easy pathway for you.
Yeah.
I am part of a mixed status family, meaning that I do have some relatives who are U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents.
Right.
But my brother could petition for me, but it would take 14 years. And after the 14 years, I would have to go back to Mexico to an interview there and wait and then get a bar from 2 to 10 years of whether or not come back. So I'm 36 now, so potentially I could come back at the age of 60
Yeah.
with my green card, and that's something, that's how broken our system is,
Right.
and that's why we need to fix it. Now, in terms of what our goals are, our goal is we're hyper focusing right now into fix this broken immigration system, not only for dreamers, but for all the people that are out there, whether you're going to a store, especially here in Houston, whether you're going to the store, whether you're going to the medical center, whether you're going to school, 1 out of every 10 people that you run into is going to be undocumented. So whoever says those folks are not part of the fabric of what makes Houston amazing, whoever says that those folks are not part of the fabric that makes the United States amazing is blind at this point. And so what we're trying to focus on is to create a pathway to residency or to some sort of work permit for these folks, so that they can stay here without fear of being deported and can continue to contribute to this country that has given so much. And with the DACA program, about 38% of these folks have gone out and bought a new home. About 38% of us went out and bought a shiny new car. So
Right.
economically, these systems work,
Right.
and we need to continue to push so that at the end of the way, everybody can prosper. And one of the things we get asked a lot is, well, how is it going to benefit U.S. citizens? If companies are not allowed to lowball people under sometimes minimum wage, then it helps us all out. Because now we have a population that will stick up for themselves, that will say, I'm not going to work for under $7.25, and at the end of the day, all of those wages will increase, and it'll help everybody else. So it's common sense. We need more people to continue to support it, and we need people to advocate in Congress and in the Senate so that we can get things right and move on as a nation.
Yeah, I totally agree. I definitely support y'all, and I encourage others to really learn about what y'all do, and also just to ask those questions, because you said 1 out of 10 people that are out there are undocumented
In the Houston area, yes.
are undocumented. That's a big amount that's a large population. So curious though, because life wasn't always like this here in Texas, right? For instance, because I'm a third generation Latina, there was a lot of opportunity many years ago where our people would come here without any issues, right? They came over and were able to work and get their pathway to do all those things. Did something happen? Like, where was that, I guess, misstep?
Well, I'm glad this is a 6-hour show that we can go back into the history of everything. No, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. I mean,
and I know this was an unpredicted question,
yes,
but I just want to hear what you have to say.
So there's been, if we look back in history, there's been times where people have been invited to come into the U.S. for benefits for both countries, whether it's Latin America or Mexico or other. So during World War II, they had the Bracero program, which they invited Mexican nationals to come in to land that used to be Mexican, and they invited us to come in, and they said, now you're going to work. My grandpa was actually a bracero after World War or during World War II, and he came and he worked on the railroad, and he worked to build planes and things like that. And then afterwards, you have the government instituted a policy called Operation Wetback, where all those people that they have been invited, even though many of them were U.S. citizens, were expelled from the country. And these cycles of oppression, these cycles of being invited but then being expelled from the country, have continued to happen in a much discreet way, but they have continued to happen. So obviously some fascinating stuff to look at immigration policy. Immigration policy has always been very difficult, but we feel that after the Reagan administration, which was the last administration to tackle this issue, we feel like it has to be tackled again, and we have to look into it, because at the end of the day, the U.S. needs this labor. But at the end of the day, they're not willing to recognize the citizenship and the contributions that many of our parents, many of our families have made into the U.S. economy. And let's not negate the fact that during COVID, our families, those essential workers, were the ones that not only kept the country going, but also the ones that suffered maximum losses because they were having so much contact with people, because they couldn't afford the fact to just sit back and wait for things to happen.
Right, or they didn't have the luxury of working from home, right? Some of those companies didn't give them that luxury to work from home.
Well, many folks were still in the cleaning business or in the restaurant business, and so they had to physically go in and continue to keep us fed, continue to keep us going even during these hard times. And with DACA and with other programs, we have met nurses and doctors and paramedics who played an integral part in keeping the community safe before, during, and after COVID. So there's many things that unfortunately we can't turn away, and there's many things that we have to face head on and fix so that we can be a more just nation. And we're open to dialogue. Anybody wants to dialogue?
Yes, I love that. I love that. I think and I'm glad you shared a little, in a brief introduction about a little bit about that immigration history, because there's so many even third generation Latinas that don't know about that, right? And so some of our own people have a misconception or perception of, oh, well, they're not here legally, right? Well, that's not always. There's a lot of history behind how our people got here in different fashions and different forms. My family came here because of the railroads, because of the chemical plants. I mean, they did all those things, and at the time they were able to establish, but they also had children that were born here, so they were able to stay, right? They were able to stay here and to continue building for the community and even further on. One last thing I just wanted to say real quick, if for anyone out there that wants to get in contact with y'all or would like some more information or resources, where can they reach you?
Well, they can always go onto our website at fielhouston.org. They can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. At Fiel Houston. I promise you I won't do any of the dances, but we are active on all our social media platforms. And just reach out. They can call our office, ask for a consultation, and we're more than happy to assist and help out in whatever way we can. So reach out. We answer questions almost automatically on our social media. So just if you want to learn more, if you want to ask questions, we're always happy to dialogue and answer whatever. And if folks need a service, if they need to talk to an attorney, we also offer that as well. So folks should definitely reach out to us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cesar. I really appreciate you coming out here. And I really love that you support small businesses as well. That's actually how we met at Kismet Boutique off of Telephone Road. And
Absolutely.
So that was such a wonderful experience. And that's how we kind of connected.
Absolutely. We have to support each other. And the last thing I would encourage everybody is to share this, share Let's Vamonos page, share this video right now so that other people who may not have access before can have access to the wealth of information that you are providing, and everybody's coming here today.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So as always, guys, thank you for the love and support, and let's vamonos. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Thank you to our sponsors for all the love and support.